seconds remain, and the outcome rested squarely with the team of Hill, Blanchard, and Zarro. The air game's perseverance and Rich Zarro's clutch kick combined to give the Saints a dramatic come-from-behind victory. New Orleans' first win ever in the Superdome. A preview of things to
I'm Scott Sands, sitting in for Richard Cross on SuperTalk Mississippi, and this man needs no real introduction other than that right there. It's the legendary Archie Manning. Archie, it's so nice to talk to you.
Well, it's my pleasure. Boy, that was a mighty long time ago.
So I'll be perfectly honest with you, sir. I'm an Alabama Crimson Tide fan, but you were playing at Ole Miss before I really knew what football was about, or you may have changed me over.
Well, thank you. But Alabama's a pretty good team to play for. Through the years, they play some mighty good football over there.
I was a Saints fan during your era, though, at least, so I've got that on my side.
Well, that can be painful back in my day, but fortunately, a few years ago, the Saints got it rolling and finally won that Super Bowl.
You and your family have had such a tremendous impact on the sport of football. Does that resonate with you at all? Do you realize how impactful you and your family have been on the sport? Well,
I've been really blessed. Olivia and I have been married for 54 years. We were blessed with three boys. All three boys have given us a lot of joy through the years. And I'm not talking about Super Bowl. That was fun, but we didn't try to raise quarterbacks. We really just tried to raise kids. My wife's done a great job, and we've just been blessed. Our son Cooper has been a joy. Cooper was really the best athlete of our three boys, and unfortunately his college days got taken away from him with a spinal cord problem. But he's done well in business. He's raised a great family. And then, of course, Peyton came along and had a good run at Tennessee and played a long time in the National Football League. Had a lot of success, and that was fun. And Eli right behind him, playing for the New York Giants, and they had some good times. So we count our blessings, and it's been a fun journey. I can tell you that.
Well, and you raised such great men as well. I can't speak to Eli, but I lived in Indianapolis during Peyton's run with the Colts and had the opportunity to meet him several times and work with him on several charity projects. And he just made such an important impact in the community of Indianapolis during his time there, from the Peyton Manning Children's Hospital to numerous other charity organizations. So you really instilled those important values in them as well.
Well, thank you. That has been such just a fun ride. Indianapolis, of course, the Colts left Baltimore and went to Indianapolis, and that was kind of a struggle for a while. But for when Peyton went there, it just one thing they put a good team around him, and Tony Dungy had a lot to do with that, and they just had some great years. A lot of people, of course, the Patriots is phenomenal what they did when Bill Belichick was there winning 6 Super Bowls. But, during the decade there, the Colts won more games than the Patriots did. The Patriots won more Super Bowls, but the Colts won more regular season games than the Patriots did. So they had a good run. They won a lot of games, and it was fun for that community. It's a good community in that great Midwest town. And it was fun for us to be up there on Sundays and be part of that.
When we're talking about the impact that you and your family have had, it's not just the kids, it's not just your career, but also the Manning Passing Academy, which has developed and improved the skills of so many players that have also achieved greatness along the way.
Well, we never envisioned that we started this in 1996. It was Peyton's idea. He was a college player, and he went to a camp when he was in high school over in Birmingham called the Bowden Passing Academy, and it was Coach Bowden from Florida State and his sons. Peyton came back and said, "Dad, we need to start a passing camp." And I went down to Tulane to talk to a young coach named Buddy Stevens, and we started the camp. And we had 185 kids at Tulane that year in 1996. I knew it was going to grow. I thought it would kind of be a regional thing. I had no idea it'd be a draw nationally, but we ran out of space at Tulane, so we went over to Hammond, southeast Louisiana, and we were there 8 years, and we outgrew that the space they had, the field space, and we just didn't have any more grass there. So we went to Thibodaux, Louisiana, the home of Nichols State, and they had their intramural fields and their practice fields and things on campus, but they also had a 10-acre field behind the stadium, and that's what attracted me to move the camp there. And the last weekend in June this year, we'll be going down to Thibodaux. It'll be our 29th year, and we'll have 1,500 campers. I have over 250 people on my staff that we put on that camp for 4 days. So it's been a lot of fun. It's been.
I think I saw something like 30,000 kids have come through the camp.
Boys have never missed a minute of the camp. So it's been fun.
We're talking to the iconic Archie Manning here on Mornings with Richard Cross. I'm Scott Sands. Archie, as it happens, some news from college football yesterday, and you were on the inaugural college football playoff selection committee. Yesterday, the committee announcing that they were going to expand by another 2 or maybe even 4 teams. Your thoughts as this expansion continues? Are there that many good teams that deserve to be in the playoff structure?
Yeah, this going. I'm not sure where it's going to go. Of course, I was on that first committee, and for years there we just picked 4 teams, which is hard. And I always said the 5th and 6th teams really going to be mad. So they expanded, and last year I said, well, they got 12 teams. I said, well, the 13 and 14 will be mad, but I guess you don't care when you have that many. I think they'll expand it a little more. They made a good move yesterday by not taking necessarily a conference champion. They're taking the highest ranked and that it should be in the rankings to make the playoffs. Last year, they had a couple of teams that got a bye that really shouldn't have been getting a bye.
Yeah, I would agree with that. As we saw the outcomes of those games, we could probably talk about this topic for hours. Archie, your thoughts on NIL and the transfer portal and how it's affected college football. A lot of attention has obviously been spent on Arch at Texas, and your family's had an interesting approach to his career at Texas so far.
Well, it's turned college football upside down, no doubt about that. I think if we could go in and interview coaches, and they could express and talk about it, just how miserable it is for them in the system now. It's really, I know a lot of them are paid well, but I don't care. It's just almost not fair to the coaches to recruit hard and get a kid, and he doesn't play his first year and he's gone and he goes somewhere, and you don't know whether some of them don't know whether to recruit high school kids or recruit portal kids. So the combination of the NIL, there's nothing wrong with NIL. There's nothing wrong with some kids being able to put some money in their pocket, but we definitely need regulation. We don't need pay for play. We don't need kids getting negotiating with various colleges to leave one school and go to another. So we've got to get some regulation, and I hope it happens in the near future.
If they're going to get paid, there should be some sort of contractual obligation to stay with the school for a minimum term in exchange for that money, whether it's held in escrow or otherwise.
Yeah, I agree. And I think two portal dates during the year is ridiculous. It's just ridiculous to have a second portal thing right after spring practice. I mean, it just makes it so difficult for the coaches.
How much money do you think you would have been able to make in NIL if that existed when you were in college?
I don't know. I got some buddies. My old freshman team, we had a great bunch of guys, and we have a thread, and it goes back and forth. And on that thread, they just call me 18. Some smart aleck one day put on there, said, well, 18 was doing NIL back in the 60s. Not true.
Let's dispel all of those rumors. Archie Manning, it's been a pleasure to have you on. Thank you so much for your time, sir.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Great to be with you. Have a great Memorial Day weekend.
Archie Manning, Mornings with Richard Cross. I'm Scott Sands on SuperTalk, Mississippi. Yulia Mendel will join us next. She is overseas and former press secretary to President Zelensky of Ukraine. We'll talk about the latest in the peace talks next.